Okay, hi guys, and welcome to the show. Today, a slightly different video than the one I actually had planned. I need your help. I'm stuck in a rut, really, and I'm in a bit of a quandary as to what to do. Now, before I get into it in a bit more detail, I'll do a quick wristwatch check because I will forget otherwise. Yes, I'm wearing the Nakin. This is by NTH, one of my favorite micro brands. It's a diver kind of homage to a whole era of iconic dive watches of, let's say, the 60s, 70s. I have reviewed it. I bought it, when was it? I think it was November, and I'm still absolutely loving it. And of course, I have it on a navy blue NATO strap. What do you expect? Hashtag put it on a NATO, right? Anyway, so what are we discussing today? And this might come as a bit of a surprise, but I am considering buying an Apple Watch. I know it's not probably what you expected, and if you're new to the channel, you're probably wondering, why is this so difficult for me to decide? Well, this very much is from a watch enthusiast perspective. What happened was, Christmas, I was given this very generous gift by a dear friend of mine. I wouldn't imagine he's watching, but just in case you are watching, thank you again, my friend. Very, very generous of you. So this is a $500 voucher for the Apple Store. I have an iPad, I have an iBook, iMac, I can't even remember, MacBook Pro, yes, sorry. I have all the software I need, Final Cut. When it comes to games, I mean, spending $500 worth on games. The App Store doesn't really have a good selection. I go to Steam. Steam is just infinitely, the vast array of games available. And most of the time, for the handheld, I have a PS Vita and I call it my Game Boy, but it's the 3DS or whatever it is, Nintendo. I can't envisage me spending $500 worth on the App Store, especially. So, what was the next logical step? Yes, an Apple Watch. That led me to start researching and looking into the Apple Watches. Which one? Is it worth it? Blah, blah, blah. So I noted down, 6 reasons to buy and 6 reasons not to buy. The pros and cons, and at the end of it, I'm stuck. I'm absolutely stuck. So let me present my case to you guys, and hopefully it might make sense. And you know what? I'll hand it over to you guys. If most of you in the comments say, yeah, buy it after I've presented my case, I will buy it. If you say, TGV, leave it alone, then I'll buy something else. And if you have any suggestions what I'm to spend $500 with the voucher, I'm all ears. I am all ears. Number one, and this is a reason to buy the Apple Watch. My mother always said it is so important to try new things, and I think, as somebody that aspires to be open-minded and, open to new experiences, whether it be cuisine, travel, literature, arts, cinema, whatever, same applies to watches.
After all, as your mother tells you, my mother certainly told me, it is important, she always used to say, always to try new things.
At a very basic level, it is important to try new things. The downside of that is, well, the negative is, I might be completely wasting my time and my money. $500 is a lot of money. Okay, point number 2. As an enthusiast, and because I have this channel, and, despite my channel being, very small in the whole scheme of things, I do feel it's my duty to review it. It is part of the story of horology, whether we like it or not. You guys know my view on smartwatches. I'm very excited about the future. Smartwatches are not only exciting in the terms of what they can offer on your wrist, but also the manufacturing possibilities behind the technology and it's never been a better time to get into watches. That is fact. Despite, the rocky state of the Swiss market, as if you look at it objectively, it's never been a better time. You have micro brands producing really cool watches at affordable prices. The manufacturing capabilities, it's never been better. Sorry, I'm going off I'm rabbiting off onto a tangent, but let me bring it back. My point is that I feel it's my duty to cover it. The negative is I don't feel I can really bring anything new to the table in terms of its discussion, especially as I've got to be honest, it is a design icon. It's there if you look at that poster that my good friend Brian gave me of all the iconic watches at Gentry HQ at the Watchtower. It's there. It's among all the other icons because it's an icon of design. Nobody can deny it. If you like it or not, it's there. It's part of the story of horology. It's an inevitable next step of the evolution. However, what can I say that hasn't been said already? Again, kind of, am I wasting my time? Am I going over something that really doesn't need to be discussed? And also, it doesn't really grab me that much. It doesn't really inspire me that much. It's in my opinion, okay, you can disagree. It's a little bit bland. It doesn't excite me as much as even a G-Shock excites me more, However, that might change. So that's the pros and cons on that point. Third point, the experience of it. Now, there seems to be this really bad habit I see in the watch community, especially. I don't know if this is, like any other hobby. I don't ever, well, yeah, I don't know. You guys, you tell me. But a lot of people tend to immediately, speak badly about watches they've never held, never experienced. You guys know me, right? I only talk about a watch once I've experienced it. I can't judge a timepiece because you may not like it, but you could have a totally different experience 2-3 weeks down the line. The main things that are holding me back is what I love about traditional timepieces is, okay, this is a micro brand, this is new, maybe not a good example. I don't have another example at hand. Oh, here we go. The Fortis Cosmonaut chronograph here. This has an incredible heritage to it. A brand with an amazing story, worn by astronauts. Fortis are responsible for manufacturing the first automatic wristwatch in collaboration with the British watchmaker Harwood. This is part of history. Okay, the Apple Watch is part of history, but there isn't that legacy. I don't feel as excited about it. Also, there's, even in a watch like this, there's a degree of craftsmanship and that I find exciting, especially the higher end you go, the more refined and just, the beautiful craftsmanship you start to see, especially at horology level. So there's none of that. There's none of that heritage. Okay, yes, the Apple Watch, of course, it's significant to the story of horology. So again, pluses and minuses. I'm still stuck there. Number 4, and this is probably the biggest appeal the Apple Watch has to me, and that is the app that monitors your workout. Basically, the health monitoring capabilities of the Apple Watch. If you've seen my before and after video, my battle with my health, I have a very stringent, tough workout routine. I don't go to gyms. I'm not into beefing up. That's not what I'm interested in. My kind of obsession is about I try to be as athletic and as fit as I can. Part of it is to do with health issues, but another part of it is just to do with happiness. It's one of the things that's very crucial to my being a happy, productive person. Have a look back at the video. It did surprisingly well for non-watch related content, and it's a brutally honest video, and probably something in hindsight maybe I shouldn't have discussed, but I felt it was important. That does appeal to me, the stats, being able to track your heart rate, all the rest of it. The negative of that is I have a tendency to become, I'm not I'm not a naturally competitive person. However, when it comes to pushing myself, I'm very, very disciplined. And with that, there is a danger that I will become dependent on another machine. Part of the reason why I don't go to gyms is, well, I can do everything I want to at home. There's a danger I'll become addicted to the app. I just don't like the idea of being dependent on another level of technology. We already are so dependent on these machines and the internet and everything. You know, my whole livelihood with editing and YouTube as well, it's all online. When certain excrement hits the fan, shall we say, it's just another thing that, you know, I just don't want that dependence. So again, massive plus, but there's also a negative to that. I'm doing very, very well in terms of keeping up with my regime, my fitness regime, with just a humble G-Shock. Okay, what was that? Number 4. Okay, number 5, and that is just the fun, the enjoyment. Will it actually be fun having Instagram on your wrist, being able to instantly change the dial and customize it on the fly? I gotta admit, that does appeal to me. However, the downside is I already get a ton of enjoyment from my traditional watches. Will the novelty wear off? And talking about modding, as we speak, I'm having another SKX, yes, another SKX commissioned. Actually, I think it's in the testing phases. I had another SKX I designed, and I find that fun. It doesn't have that level of modification. And we are, of course, joined by the NYPD. We'll just wait for them. Anyway, back to what I was saying. If the fun wanes and I just go back to my, traditional watches, what happens when I want to sell it? This is a disposable technology at the end of the day. It's undeniable that it doesn't have the longevity of a traditional timepiece. So yeah, oh God, I don't know. Is it worth it? Who knows? Okay, that was number 5. Number 6, the convenience of the notifications as a navigation tool, even, especially reminders, and having the text come up, especially if you're like me and you have the memory of a goldfish. You know what's crazy? I forget people's names that I've known for years. That's how terrible my memory is. It could be actually useful as a tool. Now the negative is that if you've seen my EDC videos, I'm not the biggest fan of the mobile phone, the cell phone as they call them in America. 90% of the communication I do as an editor outside of YouTube, and actually with YouTube as well, 90% of it is all emails. It's a double-edged sword. On one hand, it's very useful. On the other hand, it only adds to the stress of life. When was it? I think there was a week where I broke my phone and I didn't have a phone, and it was, the first couple of days were a bit jarring, but 3 days in, I was in heaven. Nobody could call me. It was great, The only thing I didn't like was not being able to immediately call my wife. So yeah, the convenience, the actual use of it other than a timekeeping device. Okay, last point, and this really, yeah, you're gonna see why I disagree with this off the bat. Apple have marketed it as, well, obviously as a tool, but and for the apps, but part of the marketing, you can't deny, they're trying to make it as a fashion accessory. Does that intrigue me or tempt me anyway? Absolutely not. I don't think they're that good looking, to be honest. If anything, when I see an Apple Watch on a person, I just feel it's, and everybody complains about the Submariner. Oh, everybody has a Submariner. No, they don't. I haven't seen a Submariner on another person's wrist for months. I see Apple Watches everywhere. I don't really want to be like everybody else. That's what I love about my little vintage Britics. It's such a fun way to express yourself. I don't see the Apple Watch like that. I'm sorry, I don't. So a big negative there. Will that change if I wear it? I don't know. Anyway, guys, I'm stuck. I don't know if I should pull the trigger or not. And the clock is ticking. So guys, please do help me out. I really want to know your opinion. Is it a waste of time? Should I review it? Am I not betraying, but am I letting down my audience by not reviewing it? I just don't know. I don't know. Anyway, guys, I'm gonna leave it there. And time is ticking. Time is ticking as well. So yeah, thank you so much for watching. Please don't forget to like this video if you enjoyed it, found it useful. And as always, guys, I will catch you in the next one. Okay, ciao.